In this lecture, we will learn how to loop through an object for extracting the properties. Let's go to the coding. I'll create an object const obj is equal to, and in the curly brackets, let me first of all give p code, that's just a property, colon 1 2 3 4 5, comma, and enter. Now I'll say p name apple, comma, and then let's say p type, that is product type. I'll just say fruits. This is the object and we want to loop through this particular object. So I will use the object.keys method, which takes an object as a parameter and returns an array of properties so that we can use the for loop to iterate through that returned array. For an array of properties, I'll say const objprops is equal to object.keys, and in the parentheses, I'll pass the object, that is obj. Now let's also display the objprops and let's run the code. Now you can see that we get an array of properties of the object. Now the next step is to iterate through this array, and for that I'll use the for loop. I'll say for, in the parentheses, let I is equal to 0, because we want to start the loop with the first element, that is the 0th element, semicolon. The next is we'll loop through the last element of the array. So I'll say I less than objprops dot length and I plus plus. And in the curly brackets, I'll say console log array objprops of I. Let's run the code. And you can see all the properties. Here we can also use the for each to iterate through an array. And here is the syntax if you want to just use the for each. We can also make use of the for in loop to loop through an object, which is an easier way. So let me show you how that works. Here I'll remove this code till obj and I'll say for let key in obj, and we'll display the key with the console log key. Now let's run the code, and there we have list of all properties.